Hi everybody, welcome here today. I'm really glad to see everybody out and having a great time, looking wonderful. I'd really like to congratulate you on such a successful parade. It's beautiful. Thank you also for contributing to the vibrancy of this community, to the diversity of this community, and the cultural significance of all of the members of our community. And we're really happy to see this happening. And over several years, so very good. J'aimerais bien féliciter et remercier aussi aux membres du comité, aussi à vous de me permettre de participer aujourd'hui. J'apprécie énormément que vous me permettez de participer dans vos célébrations et dans votre parade. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Alison Menard. I'm the nominated candidate for the Green Party in the Moncton-Riverview-Dieppe riding in the upcoming federal election, October 14th. And I'd like to address you just for a couple of minutes, if you'll allow me some time. I think it's really important for you to consider voting in the next election. I know some people are apathetic, some people do vote, and we really encourage people to consider how they're using their voting opportunity. S'il vous plaît, il est extrêmement important que vous votez dans l'élection qui s'en vient dans quelques semaines. How important is it for you to vote in this upcoming election? I got an email from Egal this week, like a lot of people who are probably here, and they're telling us that you have to remember that there's polls coming out that are telling us that the Conservatives are doing quite well in the polls and that it's possible that Stephen Harper would get a majority in the upcoming election. Now, I'm not sure that that's necessarily true because I've talked to a lot of people in this riding and I've seen a lot of what's been happening across the country, but some of the polls are telling us that that's a possibility, and we want you to keep that in mind. You got to ask yourself, are you satisfied that Stephen Harper would be your Prime Minister again and that he would have more power than he already does? Does his party reflect your values? Ask yourself that question. Are they respectful of you and your rights? Ask the representatives. Ask Daniel Alain, I see him over there. Hi, Daniel. Ask him whether or not his party represents respect for your rights in this community and in our country. I would tell you that this government should be ashamed of itself and its record for measures against equality and freedom of expression, and also against expressions of cultural and linguistic significance from different members of our community. Have you considered also that besides the Conservatives, have you considered how all the other major parties have shown evidence of their character and disrespect for democracy, especially this week when we saw that they were refusing to have Elizabeth May participate in the debates? I think that that is representative of the character of these people, these leaders of our political parties who made this decision and realized that we were not going to stand for that because it is a hit to democracy. Constituents, members of our community, Canadians, want to have a full debate on the issues that matter to us, and somebody like Elizabeth May should be able to participate in those debates. Luckily, they changed their decision, but still ask yourselves if that reflects some elements of the character of the people who made that decision to begin with to exclude her. Please see this as a call to action. You really must vote. You need to be telling your elected leaders what's on your mind. Send a message to the leaders that are there presently that business as usual is not acceptable. Send that message with your vote in a couple of weeks. Tell them that diversity and equality matter to you and to other members of your community. Tell them that Eldon Hayes sent around an email this week and he said, we want a Canada which may yet become the society, culture and country where there is security and justice for all of us and for all humankind. Tell your elected representatives that that's what you expect of them. Tell them you want democracy. Tell them that you care about a clean environment just as much as you care about a strong and sustainable economy, and that you can have both. And that their message to us that we cannot have both is false. Tell them that with your vote in a couple of weeks. I'd ask you to consider me and to also consider Green when you're voting in a couple of weeks, and there's a couple of reasons why. Je suis moi-même avocate ici à Moncton. Je suis graduée de l'Université de Moncton dans mon bac aux arts et aussi mon bac en droit. Et je travaille depuis plusieurs années dans la communauté. Je suis particulièrement intéressée par des causes de droits humains et des causes d'égalité. I'm a lawyer and I have a family in Moncton here. I've worked in issues that deal with diversity and democracy and respect for human rights and respect for equality. I was pro bono counsel on the case a few years ago for same-gendered marriage, and, you know, interestingly enough, 3.5 years ago, we rushed to get that to a court before Stephen Harper became our Prime Minister because we knew that it would not be possible once he was in power. And we are again still in that situation, only Stephen Harper has a minority at this point and he's seeking a majority. We still have these problems. It's important for you to consider that something like the case where we fought for the right for same-gendered couples to have equal choice whether or not they wanted to choose marriage for themselves is something important. It's not something that we should have to do as citizens. Why do we have to sue our government to be treated equally? It doesn't make sense. So please send a message with your vote when it's time. I was also involved in it with a group of people who organized to bring a message to our provincial government that the decision to eliminate French immersion in our schools was unacceptable. And why is that important? Because it tells you that I'm somebody that can communicate, that can work hard, that can be an activist, and that can bring people together. And I hope that if you have issues that you need to be expressed, you will feel comfortable coming to me. I will be very, very happy to talk to anybody who needs to hear that message from your community or from you in particular. Monctonians have previously elected MPs who are not traditional politicians, and I want you to keep that in mind when you're making a decision in a few weeks. I'm thinking of somebody like Claudette Bradshaw. Claudette Bradshaw got elected in large part, aside from the fact that she had a wonderful record, but in large part because she represented something that was just and good in society, and people wanted to send a message to Ottawa that that's who we want representing us when it comes to making laws and making policy. I'd like you to consider green, and this is where I'm going to end off. Why is green important? I'm going to tell you what green stands for. The principles of the Green Party are as follows. Ecological wisdom. We cannot argue with that. Our river, for example, is in complete distress. What have the Conservatives done about that? Except block every opportunity that we have had before us to remediate the river. Have they done anything about that? Absolutely not. Ask Daniel Alain, and he's going to tell you the Liberals did nothing before the Conservatives. I don't care if it's the Conservatives or the Liberals who didn't do anything. Get to work and make it better. That's the message that we have to send on these things. The Green Party also stands for nonviolence, social justice, sustainability, whether it's in our homes or our businesses, participatory democracy so that everybody has a vote that counts, and respect for diversity on an ecological level and also on a human level. And so those principles, I think, are things that connect with the values that are important to me, are important to my friends, are important to my community, and I hope are important to your community as well. I thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak to you for a couple of minutes. I hope that you'll really give consideration to using your vote in a way that is meaningful. You know, instead of not voting or voting for a party that really doesn't reflect your values, but because you find yourself not being able to vote for the party that's in power, take your vote and use it meaningfully. Send a message with your vote through voting for the Green Party that you want things to be different, you believe in a strong economy at the same time as you believe in diversity and sustainable development, whether it's in business or homes or communities. Send that message. Please, if you are at all interested in being involved, come and see us. We'd love to have you involved. We'd love to connect with you and find out what your issues are. And I hope to see you at other events. And really, congratulations. Félicitations. C'est une très belle journée puis une très belle célébration. Merci. Thank you.